Hello fluffies! Today I'm with Tuulia from Cloudberry Lady and she will make an interview for you so you get to know her and her brand. So how long have you been wearing Lolita fashion?
I've been wearing Lolita for, I'd say, at least 15 years now.
Wow!
Yeah, because I started my brand already 10 years ago and I've been interested in Lolita fashion for some time before that. Can't say that the first few years were that much of a Lolita, but you know, in my...
Like everybody.
Yeah, you know, for me, that time it was Lolita.
And so how did you discover it?
I discovered Lolita through J-Rock, Visual K music.
Nice.
I used to love like Lorraine and yeah, well actually Lorraine was my top favorite.
Okay.
And yeah, so and I used to go to see a lot of like J-Rock bands and I was really inspired by that. And then I was like wondering like all these like all because they always had the one person who was dressed in this like ladies fashion. And then I somehow figured out that some of the band members, they were inspired by Lolita fashion, and then I ended up in the Finnish Lolita forum, which doesn't exist anymore at the time. Yeah, and then just got interested about that. I used to be gothic before, so it wasn't so different change for me. I've been always like alternative fashion person, so then I really felt like Lolita is for me, because I was like, I'm too cheerful to be gothic. So I was like, well, Lolita sounds better, because I can be still like frilly, but I can also be smiley.
Yeah.
As if gothic people couldn't be smiley, but
No.
you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And what is your favorite style in Lolita?
I really love like gothic and classic Lolita. I do love like looking at sweet Lolita and doing sweet stuff sometimes, but I just don't like the look on myself.
Okay.
I tried, but I don't know. Maybe I should do wigs and stuff to make it work, but I've never been one for wigs so much, so I don't know. It's just not my style. I'm a little bit like more casual dresser in general in Lolita fashion. I don't really do over the top goriness myself. So maybe that's why like sweet Lolita doesn't work for me, because it has to be like so over the top to work for my colors.
Okay, yeah.
You know, as a fashion designer, I'm really also like considerate about what are my colors. So and sweet Lolita doesn't have my color palette, so to make it work, I think it would be too much work for me personally.
What are your colors?
So I have like autumn palette, more suitable for me. So all the like muted colors, jewelry tones, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be wearing black either. So I don't know, gothic. But you know, since I was gothic before, I'll never lose my love for black
I
color.
understand. Yeah, so classic dresses usually have more.
Classic.
colors.
Classic was definitely the one that I was like the most interested in.
How often do you wear Lolita?
I'd say I wear Lolita only once a month or a few times a month maybe, because I don't often dress in Lolita fashion in at work. I wear more like a rock style at work or kind of hippie fashions at work, since we have lots of regular customers coming here, so it's more like I don't want to be answering questions all the time like, oh, do you wear a petticoat under there?
Yeah.
So it's a bit easier to wear. I could wear whatever I wanted, but yeah, it's just easier, and I like a lot of different styles actually than just Lolita fashion. So my daily fashion is a bit different.
And so when you wear it, it's for events and tea parties or stuff?
For meetings, we do have quite a lot of meetups in Finland. We don't have many Lolita specific events except for Hellocon. So people do wear it for like conventions. I haven't been going a lot for like anime conventions lately. Just went to one recently and I was like, oh, it's much more fun than I remembered. But I think it was when I started my brand, I went a lot to sell my stuff, and I was like, okay, getting too bored with going all the time. And now that I had a little break and I just went there as a visitor, I found it like much more fun again.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but I usually wear it for meetups with friends or with like with community meetups. We have like every city in Finland has their own meetup group basically on Facebook nowadays, since the forum is dead. So I often go to like Hämeenlinna meetups or Helsinki or Tampere, which both are like nearby.
Okay.
But I have even traveled like to Oulu, which is almost in Lapland.
What do your friends and family think about Lolita fashion?
My friends and family don't really think anything about it. I've been doing it so long that everybody knows I do it.
Yeah.
Well, some friends, because they mostly see in my like regular work clothing, like what I wear every day, don't necessarily know that I wear Lolita, because I never see them when I'm wearing Lolita. I just go like from my home to where I'm meeting my friends. Yeah. But then again, I do tell them like I have this brand, I make this Lolita fashion. They're like, oh, okay. But then they actually never see me. And then they might get surprised like, oh, okay, is this? But no, my parents didn't even really know what is Lolita fashion, and they also did not have any idea of any other meanings of Lolita, so they were just like, okay. They knew me and my sisters, we were all listening to J-Rock. So they were like, okay, this is some Japan stuff, whatever. And since also we were Gothic before, like I was Gothic before, so for them the change was like just for better actually.
Okay.
No more black lipstick in a small town.
So how is it here in Finland that people look at you weirdly in the streets or judge you for being different, or?
I don't really think people judge so much in here. People look at you, but Finnish people don't usually approach people so easily.
Okay.
So they don't say anything. They might look at you, they might be curious. Some people might like come to ask. Usually you don't get so much negative comments. Okay. Usually it's more like, oh. And nowadays, because Lolita is more known, it's more often actually like, oh, is this now that Japanese, that thing?
Okay.
So actually it's more like people are being curious.
Okay.
Sometimes you get some bad things, but well, also we are now in this bit smaller town. We are 1 hour from Helsinki, the capital, so people don't really yell to people at streets.
Yeah,
well, there's nobody in the streets anyway. So yeah, I didn't really personally get any, and also I just don't care.
Okay.
Like I can't remember any bad things that I would have had. Usually it's more like people are more like, oh, why are you so dressed up? They are more like, oh, nice looking girl, because you are like dressed up actually, rather than anything nasty.
Kind of like in Switzerland, yeah. Nice. What is your process to build the coordinates?
I do have quite small wardrobe actually, so I just try to think of different accessories that I have so that I can make a different kind of coordinate. Like if I find some nice new piece of jewelry, or if I make a new hat, then I just like try to make a coordinate around that. I don't acquire a lot of new stuff for my coordinates. It's more like I go to my Lolita closet and the Membergola clothing closet and like, oh yes, I think this really weird necklace is gonna be fun with it, or like this regular blouse will make the coordinate like more interesting on a daily wear. Since like I said, I wear quite simple coordinates, so for me I don't strictly state the rules of Lolita. It's more fun to break it. And
absolutely. What effect has wearing Lolita fashion on you?
No, that's a difficult question. Like,
do you know what I mean? Like, do you feel pretty? Do you feel free? Do you feel not comfortable because it's too tight or something? I don't know.
I always feel very pretty when I get dressed up in Lolita fashion. It makes me definitely more confident in myself when I get more dressed up. It's in general, if I get dressed up, do my makeup, do my hair, I usually feel much more confident than if I just go lazily to work. That's usually, So I do have the same in Lolita. And for me, since my Lolita outfits are not so different, not so over the top, so I don't have so much difference. I'm always quite confident in myself, so So it's not so much like that. But I also feel like a bit cool because I'm like, you know, I'm not like definitely different from like regular people. So I'm like,
That's nice.
you know what I mean?
Totally, absolutely. What advice would you give to someone who wants to try Lolita fashion for the first time, but maybe is not confident and is afraid?
Well, I'd say like to go for it because it's definitely worth it to try it. But for the first time, maybe don't head out straight away to big conventions and especially like city centers or something like that. But to go for like maybe a small tea party with friends or just hang out in home with friends who know that you are now into this fashion, so that they are also like know that, or maybe they are also interested in trying it out, or so just go for a smaller crowd at first, so that you get like comfortable with yourself wearing it. And then for starting Lolita fashion, my main tips, because I didn't do it at the beginning, was to get blouses. You know, dresses can be you make them yourself and it will look fine if you know how to sew. But the blouse is definitely one thing you need to get, because I did for several years with just something I modified or something like that. And then when I get my first innocent world blouse, I was like, ooh, my gardens look so much better now. And of course petticoat. So start with like a staples. Don't get like a huge selection of dresses at first. Start with the staples and a few dresses or skirts, so that you coordinate, like you can make different outfits with the same dress.
How did you start your brand, and why, and how, and
I started my brand when I came to live here in Hämeenlinna. I came here to study fashion design, and there were a couple of other Lolitas in my class. They were actually the first Lolitas I knew, because I'm from a small town originally. We didn't have any other Lolitas. I just had my J-rock friends, but I was the only one into Lolita fashion. So I met these my classmates who were into Lolita as well, and I was talking with one girl about Lolita a lot. She was kind of the one who really brought me into the fashion, with like helping me to buy my first brand dresses and everything. And we started talking that we should start a brand. And then after during the first year, we decided to start to run a label together. But then she didn't want to be an entrepreneur. So basically I started the company, but she was helping with me at the beginning. So we started. We thought that, you know, because we are studying fashion design, we have lots of ideas what to do, and it would be also nice incorporate our studies to making this brand. So we were starting the brand and did the first summer vacation. We spent the whole vacation making our first collection with some frilly blouses and we made lots of t-shirts and tank tops, because at the time, you know, it was like those tank tops with the crossing straps were really popular, so we made those.
Nice.
Because it was like 10 years ago, so the style was very different back then.
And so, did you start making hats also at that time or later?
No, I started hat making later. So after I was actually, when I already applied to the university to study fashion design, I was also thinking to go to study hat making. But then, since I got into the university, I went there and I was hoping maybe I could also do hat making there. But there was no hat making in there. So after I graduated from university, I decided to go to apply to the hat making school as well, and got in, and I started to make hats as well. And then after that, I got my lower degree in hat making, and then I studied after a few years. I decided to go for the higher degree in millinery as well. So I have a higher degree in millinery, and now it's basically my main focus. I really love hat making even more than dressmaking, even though I like it too, but hat making is definitely my passion, and I'm really glad I decided to go to that way.
Nice. And so she makes gorgeous hats to go with the Lolita dresses and also regular hats because her shop is in a regular mall.
Yeah.
Mall. And
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a couple of years ago I joined here in Artisan shop. And the shop is in a mall, Tavastila, here in Hämeenlinna. So we are 5 people working here together. We have 2 hat makers, me and Laura. Laura is nowadays, she's actually the teacher now at the school where I studied. She wasn't a teacher when I was studying, but she's now teaching there. So she actually asked me to join to be a milliner here so that we can have someone here every day to service our hat customers. So I have lots of regular customers as well, which is nice because I love making my frilly hats, but I really also enjoy making really simple hats where everything has to be perfect. Because that really shows you, like, you know, you have to put all your skills into the simple hats.
Interesting. And also, since at least 3 years now, you've been the head organizer of HelloCon.
Yeah.
And tomorrow starts HelloCon.
Yeah.
And so she looks super calm right now, but she's actually
screaming inside,
busy. So yeah, she's. So if you see my vlog of all the very cool stuff that we will have done at HelloCon, that's because of her. So
well, all of our team. So yeah, we are a team of about 10 people doing HelloCons. And we've been running HelloCons, have been running for 7 years already. There was a different head organizer at the beginning, my friend Jenny, but then 3 years later, I think, she decided to start to move on, and I started to take more responsibility, and I became the head organizer of HelloCon. And also when I became the head organizer of HelloCon, I decided we are not going to use the HelloCon name. Like we had the HelloCon 1, HelloCon 2, HelloCon 3. But now we have, every year we have a different name. Like this year we have Witches Follies. Which tells more about the team. And that allows us, because people were expecting certain things from HelloCon. But it's more fun to have a different concept each year. So this year we have this getaway concept. So we are all gonna go into this super beautiful mansion here in Hämeenlinna. It's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It's built in the 20s, so a little bit. That's why the Follies name, to reference to some follies. And then because it's close to Halloween, then we also wanted to have the witches. So it's nice. Witches and follies.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will wear a witch hat this weekend. So different from what I usually do.
I'm gonna wear a witch hat on Sunday.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'm gonna go with the 20s theme.
Oh, nice.
Because I don't know if a lot of people got that. The 20s theme as well.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited that we can all stay in the same place.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Angelic Pretty, which is super nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And lots of amazing vendors this time. I'm also really excited. We have lots of vendors who are not strictly Lolita, but have maybe something related to the witchy part.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
that will be cool.
And we have lots of nice lectures about the witchcraft, some herbal lectures, but also little stuff as well. And almost all of the program are done by Lolitas. There just happens to be amazing professionals who are Lolitas, but also are professors in the field knowing about the witchy stuff.
Nice. Amazing. And so yeah, I've seen that amazing program, but unfortunately I won't be able to film both of it because some of them at the same time. So
yeah,
see.
Yeah, you have to choose.
See what I can do, but I will bring some of it to you guys.
We wanted to make sure there's something for everybody, so there's lots of program.
Absolutely.
And food.
And food. Food is very important.
Yeah.
Good. So I just want to remind you that Cloudberry Lady does a lot of custom sizes and custom things. So if you don't find what you want in regular brands, consider buying from the European labels and support the Lolitas all around Europe who make amazing things. So she can do custom sizes and all your dreams come true.
I love to make headwear for like if you have a specific dress you want a headpiece for, just send me a picture of your dress and I'll make you.
Amazing. Amazing. Totally. So thank you so much for answering all the questions. And I got, maybe you've seen a little bit of her hat making process, because tomorrow's HelloCon and she's super busy, so we had to do everything in between. So thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I was so happy I could visit your workshop.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. And see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Just realized I have this ugly thing on my neck. Oh my god. This is to hold my phone. Oh my god. I feel so bad. I have to redo everything.
But it's cute.
It is cute, but it doesn't match the coordinate at all.